which I picked for today.
Okay.
It's to do with the sort of obsession with work that Japanese people have, and especially in the anime industry. So I don't know if you guys have seen Children of the Sea. It's one of my favorite anime films.
No.
It's gorgeous. It's It's absolutely gorgeous film. Probably my top favorite or top 3 for sure. It's technically brilliant. It's like a masterpiece, and it's by the studio called Studio 4C or 4 Degrees. I'm not sure how you read it. The controversy there though is that they underpaid their staff, and they basically slave drive them to make really, really complex films and anime. Essentially taking advantage of people's passion. So the thing though is that I found out today that a lot of the people that work for that company, first of all, they're freelancers, so they're not full-time employees, which is cheaper for the studio, and they don't like that. Also means they don't get like health benefits and the usual full-time employee stuff, but it's cheaper for them to hire people like that, and also they have literally an unlimited supply of people like that, because there's so many Japanese people that want to work in that industry, like in anime, and fulfill their artistic dreams and whatnot.
The demand is lower than the interest. Like people
Yeah, exactly.
only pay what they're forced to pay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because there's so many people who are interested, they can afford to lowball them.
Yeah. It's kind of
The
a
entire
perfect
industry that's
storm.
just getting
Yeah.
screwed over.
It's kind of a perfect storm there, because you have exactly what you said, like too few studios and a lot of people that want to do that work, and you also have people who, in general, Japanese people are very they really care about work. Like they put work as their one of the primary pillars of their lives, right? So they don't mind staying up late, as if you see everybody else in the studio staying up late and working away on stuff, and they don't mind like spending weekends working. They don't mind they don't see work-life imbalance as an issue, the same way as people in Europe or the US do. And so it's kind of a perfect storm for studios like that to take advantage of.
Not only that, but can you imagine a cooler job title than anime artist for like your favorite anime, or your favorite anime of all your friends or something?
Yeah.
If you work on Attack on Titans, for example,
That's
you drew
exactly.
some scenes with Levi or Aaron or whoever, like you're the talk of the town for the next year.
Yeah. You'd be a weeaboo god.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think gifting more money to the animators, I don't see how that would help in the short term, because it's a short term solution to a long term problem. Like if you just say here's a bunch of money to the animators who are being underpaid, it's not going to work well.
Yeah.
Whereas because the demand is still going to stay high, and then it'll just get even higher. Like I think there just needs to be a set. Yeah, maybe it's a tricky one. Maybe either set the minimum wage
unionizing.
Or show the difficulty of the job. Like just be transparent with people who
people wouldn't care about the difficulty, I don't think, because those artists, they always follow their heart, follow their dreams. But I think what you're describing is just unionizing, making it a union job, which is really like unfortunately most of these jobs, like animator, I'm not sure about games, but a lot of the creative jobs are not unionized. meaning that having a union means that you have like a baseline salary for everyone, and you have and you have baseline standards for the companies to follow when they're employing people. Unfortunately, with artists, it's very difficult apparently to get them to unionize, and the companies they work for are lobbying really hard to not allow that to happen because they have very slim margins, and I'm assuming that not a lot of them make a lot of money actually.
But the studios must be making a killing, like the ones that are actually
but is it
profiting off the animation.
I'm not sure if it's the actual studio profiting, because you can have, like, this is not an anime thing, but it's the only example I could think of. Think of like the Pokemon company and Freak. What was the name, Dave, of the company? Game Freak.
Game Freak. Like,
So the majority of money goes to the Pokemon company and like Nintendo and stuff, right? And Game Freak as a studio themselves get like a cut of that, a percentage of that. They don't have that huge of a budget comparatively. So I think it works in the same way with studios. Like you can be a really, obviously if you're not like Ghibli or whatever, your own like self-sustainable studio. If you're working with, if you have a production house, they might be making the majority of the profits. But yeah, I think it's, I used to be of the mind that it's it's just a bunch of evil companies, but now I'm starting to think that anime artists actually continue to choose this career, knowing how infamous it is with this stuff. And maybe they just don't care about making enough money or having work-life balance until they form a family and have kids, because a lot of them quit at that time. I've heard.
I mean, you've got to think as well about like the luxury. How can I phrase it? I guess the luxury of doing a job that you have a passion for as well.
Exactly.
I think that comes into play when deciding, do I want to work in an office and get paid potentially like
salary,
rising the career ladder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, or do I want to follow a passion at the risk of being paid a much lower wage and having to struggle?
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off there, but I don't. Yeah, it's a tricky one to kind of balance.
I think that's always been the trade-off for artists, right? Like that's historically artists, being an artist was never like as how do you call it, like as glamorous as it is now. Like the artists were always struggling, right, in the past.
This is literally the most profitable time ever in history to be an artist. So although they're not paid well, specifically in that industry, they're still paid more than, and that's not a good argument for them not being paid.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way.
Yeah, but is the other thing is it worth, like, I'm struggling with this this one line from the Studio Ghibli film The Wind Rises, when they discuss the pyramids and the fact that the pyramids have been built with slaves, and I think the protagonist says, or I forget who it was, but one of the characters say, is it better to live in a world where the pyramids don't exist and there wasn't that injustice, or is it better to live in our world where the pyramids exist and they're like a wonder of the world and we can enjoy them forever? I'm struggling with that a lot, because that film that I mentioned, Children of the Sea, is literally outstanding. It's obvious that it was achieved based on its budget. It doesn't have that much of a budget, but what they have achieved goes just above and beyond, right? So is that a good trade-off? Like knowing that those people probably like wanted to, you know.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think slavery is ever a good trade-off.
Yeah. Not slavery.
like-
I mean, I'm talking about the film. No.
You said about the pyramids, right?
Yeah, but that was just an analogy. I'm not saying like have slaves and build pyramids. I'm saying now in our world, current day, we still pay everyone, but they're just not paid well enough, right? And they don't have a good enough life.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Well,
True, yeah.
regarding the pyramids specifically, that's definitely not. In my opinion, I don't think that was worth it. Right, like it's something to look at, but
Man, don't you like some giant ass triangles in the middle of the desert?
Big stone
Man.
triangles, you know.
um,
You could make them
we
now
can go
without
down
using
that.
slaves.
Could you
we can
though?
go down the alien conspiracy theory route.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
one.
Could you actually make them?
Would be
Like, imagine how
expensive.
much it would cost. Nobody's gonna invest in that. Probably Elon Musk,
Yeah, it wouldn't be
but
worth
nobody
it.
else.
Obviously, but you physically
see-
could do it.
Did you see that some of the smoothness of each of the blocks that the pyramids were made up of, and the carvings on them
What, sorry.
were almost like
Yeah.
done with laser precision.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
they don't know how some of them were even created.
The answer is always slaves. Every time
It's
there's
always
a
aliens.
Yeah.
yeah, every time there's a mystery in the ancient times, it's slaves. Just save yourself
Yeah.
the research. That's how it's done.
Yeah. Or how did they make Stonehenge? How'd they drag it out there?
Yeah,
Well,
slaves.
slaves did it.
Yeah.
Probably over the
When-
course
when
of
they're-
many years.
Yeah,
When their life depends on it, like they'll
Yeah.
figure a way out. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, is it? I wouldn't. It would be a loss to culture if that film didn't exist to the quality that it does now. And if they have chosen this path, I'm like, it sounds bad, but I'm inclined to sort of not put the blame on the artist, but like you signed up to do it, right? So if
Yeah,
they wanted actual real change, they wouldn't sign up to do this.
yeah. They knew what they were getting in
yeah,
for.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
yeah. And that's not to say that it's right, but it's just, yeah. I wish there would be some like unionizing in the anime industry that would allow them to have like a better work-life balance. Because it's, I wouldn't want the work quality to decrease, like the output, the anime output, to be worse. But at the same time, it sucks that people have to suffer for us to enjoy some, I don't know, Dragon Ball or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they could just pay them more and have more lenient headlines. That wouldn't affect the quality. No, they still have the same standard, but they say you have longer to do it in and you get paid more. Someone must be able to afford that.
Yeah,
Somebody's
some
making a
giant
killing out of it.
corporation is definitely able to afford paying pretty much all of the anime artists in
Yeah.
Japan, probably. But yeah, as soon as you have that many people wanting to do this job, they're always gonna find a cheaper one, cheaper and faster.
There's always that like unfair distribution of royalties when it comes to these types of productions.
Yeah,
Like the fact that the actors, if it's a live action film, get paid I don't know 100 or 1,000 times more than what the anime art than what the CG artists get
yeah,
and VFX artists is ridiculous. Like the amount of work that goes into creating each shot for a Marvel film
yeah,
or even the props themselves for some of the actors to hold.
yeah. Oh
Like
my
that's gonna take more work, more hours than learning the lines for the film. Not to say that
Yeah,
actors
just-
aren't needed, but the disproportionate distribution of that
God. Yeah,
of that money pot
yeah.
is
Exactly.
what is the real issue. Is I think when it comes to live action, when it comes to anime, I can only hazard a guess that it's just unfair distribution from like the studio
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, because I think even anime like supervisors and directors, they also don't get that much money. and recognition as well, because everybody knows like Brad Pitt and Tarantino, right? But nobody knows
Yeah.
like George, the layout animation guy from from Disney Animation or something.
True. Yeah. That's why they get paid less.
Yeah.
Because no one knows who they are, so they could just hire anyone.
Yeah. And it's apparently like, have you noticed that nobody in the West makes really good 2D art anymore? It's apparently ridiculously expensive to the point where it's impossible. Like, we're never gonna see another Pinocchio or another, what's a good one from the Disney classics?
Yeah, like Cinderella. Or,
Lion King, yeah, exactly. Aladdin, yeah. Tarzan.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
all
went
of
with
those.
Cinderella.
What?
Of all the ones I could have picked, I don't know why I went with Cinderella.
Cinderella. No, now we know. You've been exposed.
Yeah, you do get animations like the Netflix. Some of those
That's
animated. I think
that's
Castlevania
3D.
is Western.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's 2D.
Yeah. I
But
thought
then
you were gonna
mostly
say
it's
Arcane.
3D now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Netflix is the exception. Like
That does use
they
some 2D
literally-
animation in. Okay.
Yeah.
they literally have like an unlimited budget, Netflix. So
Yeah.
and they can just buy whatever rights they want. So if they want a series, if they want just a season,
Yeah.
like they don't have the same restrictions that smaller studios and distributors have.
Yeah. But they're doing that to the.
Yeah, true.
They're really like doing a good job of it, because how much they've done to introduce like anime to the West.
Yeah.
Like before we had Crunchyroll and like all those streaming services now. One of the few legit ways to watch anime was on Netflix, because they picked up a whole bunch of the classic ones, and started making originals as well, which was a really good move, I feel like. And same for animation, like Arcane, masterpiece, absolute masterpiece. European animation, very good.
Yeah, that's French.
French, yeah.
Took like 6 years. Hopefully season 2 won't take 6 years.
Yeah.
Don't want to wait that long.
Wow, if they have like a pipeline set up probably to do it faster now. That time likely went into developing the style and the aesthetic and the techniques. So it's a lot of
Yeah,
variety
they
in the
can-
beginning. Yeah.
Can reuse environments and character models and stuff. So yeah, I suppose it will be quicker next season.
Whoa, my god. Oh my god.
Oops.
Oof. Only cleaning up our mess.
As usual.
Yeah, as usual. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Is just the amount of like blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this stuff. And Attack on Titan is another one. Like the season that's being produced now, they also are facing some controversy over this, but it's so good.
Of course.
So the latest
Is
episode today.
Is there an
It's just like game
argument
companies, really.
that through the limitations, like through the constraints, that's where the sort of mastery is born? So you know how you've got, I don't know, football players, for example, that come from literally ghettos
Yeah,
would only have got to that by going through the hardships that they've gone through, and rappers the same, and
could
like
be,
is
yeah.
it extended to other industries like animation? And because some of the artists, the anime artists for these series are unreal,
Yeah,
and the stories that they can tell in such a short space of time, like a 20-minute episode,
yeah.
is
It's crazy,
It's,
yeah. And a lot of
yeah,
a lot of the really really crazy scenes have all been done by like one guy, you know, right? Like one guy would sit down, especially in 2D, and you know, do all the key poses for the characters and stuff. And then of course you have like in betweeners that would fill in the blanks. But
Yeah.
the creativity you need to have as just a guy to create that stuff on your own, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
specifically like what comes to mind is Attack on Titan, that episode where well, spoiler alert, I guess.
I already know the one you're on about.
The one with Levi being attacked
In the streets, right?
in the streets. Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole
Yeah.
sequence was outstanding, just unbelievably well done.
Yeah, that was the best animation I've seen in an anime
Yeah.
ever, I think.
Yeah,
I remember watching it for the first time, like just
I rewinded,
mesmerized
yeah.
by. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I did the same. Just the fact that they were going outside the lines as well when it comes
Yeah.
to the style. They didn't feel restricted to like just the style that they defined for the
Yeah.
entire show. Was
Yeah, and the
So nice to see.
creativity you need to, because what they do is they actually change camera lens focal length multiple times in that shot. So the
Yeah.
knowledge and creativity you need to have to be able to pull that off
Yeah.
is insane. Just mad props to whoever it was that came up with that. And yeah, that's the other thing that bothers me on this topic is that yeah, for a lot of artists like musicians, it's really easy to say like, oh, if you want them to make more money, just go and support them. But actually, just watching the anime probably doesn't make that money from your viewing doesn't probably, even if you buy stuff, doesn't probably reach the studio, or definitely not the animator, because a lot of
Yeah.
them are freelance, right? So I was thinking like, what would be a good way to support these guys? The only thing I could think of is just watch the credits and find the guys that actually worked on the things you like, and try to search them out on, like, I don't know, ArtStation or whatever website they might have, and support them that way, like purchase their prints or
the word Victor's looking for here is
oh, no, there we
cryptocurrency.
go. Yes, yes. Man, none of
I'm
that.
joking. I'm joking.
That's for another show, but
Yeah, I think so.
just wanna talk about one thing that's kind of related. Did you
Yeah.
see that video of Keanu Reeves reacting to the Matrix for NFTs,
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
he's gonna see zero like money of like
From the Matrix.
no from the NFTs that they're selling.
Oh no, I didn't see.
Yeah.
I saw his clip reacting like
Yeah, he just laughed it off.
he started laughing. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's such a cool guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool
you
guy,
gotta love
but
Keanu Reeves.
I'm not sure NFTs solve this issue, because companies can still use them and not pay their artists. So yeah, I think just going out of your way and finding out who those people are. Like I feel like a bit of a jackass now for not researching what the name of the guy that was like the main animator for the Levi scene is. But yeah, if you, I think it's good to like pay attention to the people that work in this space if you want to support it, and just support them directly somehow. Like I would love to buy prints off of some of anime artists to
Yeah.
put in my house.
I mean, you could support their independent work. Like,
Yeah, exactly,
I'm sure
that's
they'll
what I
have
mean.
work outside of
Yeah,
outside of what they've been
Yeah.
commissioned to do.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, Ollie, what's your topic?